Hi, my name is Ben Thompson, and this is an interview of my mother, Tal Thompson.
Hi. So,
Where did your family come from?
my family is from Israel. My parents were both born in Israel, but my grandparents were born from my mother's side. My grandfather was born in Brazil because his family escaped World War II. And my grandmother was born in Poland. And from the other side, my dad's side, grandpa was born in Spain and grandma was born in Greece. So a good mix, right?
Yeah, all around there.
All over the world.
Yes. Why did your ancestors immigrate to America?
Well, my ancestors didn't, but I did. And it was because I met your dad and I wanted to live together with him. I loved him.
Yeah.
That was the only reason, really.
Where did your family enter the United States? Like, what point?
I flew from Tel Aviv, which is the biggest airport in Israel, all the way through in direct flight to JFK. And there I made a connection to Atlanta. And I had two really, really big suitcases with me that weighed over 200 pounds.
So not necessarily as in
Not,
like how it did in the great immigration areas where.
Well, it wasn't too long ago, so airplanes
it was
existed,
only
right?
20 years ago, right?
Just about, yes.
Yeah. What? So where did our family originally settle in America?
Well, originally settled. Your dad already had a house in Atlanta, and I joined him there, and that's where I went to school too. So we lived in Atlanta for 10 years, and then we moved here to the Richmond area almost 7 years ago. Yeah.
What was your family's immigration experience like?
It was hard. I was very excited to come to America. I didn't know much about it. I've traveled here before, but I didn't know how it is to live in America. And I was nervous, but I really was excited to move in with your dad. So when I left Israel, I didn't really think how it's going to be away from my family and be that far, but it was all worth it at the end.
Okay.
So I was nervous, but your dad was very helpful, and we went through it.
So what was your favorite food in Israel?
It must be the fruits and vegetables because they're just super yummy there. So fruits and vegetables in general just seem to have more flavor in Israel than any other place.
Which specific fruit and vegetable?
Well, specifically mangoes and persimmons and loquats are like my favorite fruits of all time.
Okay.
And tomatoes. Tomatoes are the bomb.
What were some of the hardships of moving into America?
One of the hardest things is to realize that you're leaving family behind, right? So especially when kids come around, to not have uncles and aunts and grandparents right around the corner was a choice I made when I moved that I didn't really realize I made it, right? Because I didn't have kids back then, so it was a little harder to accommodate once you were born. I kind of wished that family was closer because I was so proud of the kids. I wanted them to see it and experience and be together. It was definitely hard when grandma got sick, so traveling back and forth is never easy. And so even though life here is very, very good and I love it here, giving up on some of my family is always hard, and I always miss them.
Did you know how to speak English coming into here?
Yeah, it's very bad English. I was really terrible. It's not that I'm great now, but my English was just broken. So at the beginning, at college, my notebooks, I used to sit in class and I would start in Hebrew, and Hebrew you write from right to left, and then I would switch because I tried to get my English better. So my notebook had words. Yeah.
So like the start of this, then end of that segment.
Yes.
And another segment.
And I even saved those notebooks. I have them upstairs in the attic because I thought it would be a funny.
You probably go grab it just right now and just show it.
Well, it's not easy. It's in a box somewhere tucked away. But it was one of the hardest things. Though I spoke English, I really had very hard time with grammar, which I still do sometimes. I mean, you correct me sometimes, right? But not as bad. Like I could not speak fluent at all. But going to school kind of forced me to learn really quick. So even though at the beginning of college the classes may have been easier, the challenge was to do them in English, which was kind of cool.
Do you like America more than Israel, or Israel more than America? Why?
It's a tough question. I definitely love both, and Israel is where I grew up. It's where the sounds and smells I grew up on. So it's very sentimental, but I'm almost to the point, at some point it would be that I'll be more longer in America than in Israel, because when I moved here I was only 20,
You're almost,
21, right?
You're almost
22.
there.
I'm almost there. So I can say that life in America is a little easier because taxes are not as high, and it's easier to, have a dream and chase it. And I definitely love it here, especially in Virginia. It's probably my favorite place to live, right here in Midlothian. And so I don't really remember adult life in Israel like I do now. So I can't really tell you, but I love them both very much. I feel very much as American as I am Israeli. At this point in my life, I feel it equally belong.
Okay.
Is that a good answer?
Yeah.
All right.
Are you an American citizen yet?
Yes, I became an American citizen probably 3 years ago, roughly, almost 4. And you were there. We practiced for the test together, and then we ended up at the Richmond court, and it was really cool because the judge invited you and your brother Sean to come on the stage, and he said, "Isn't it cool that your mom is American, right?"
Yeah.
And he even gave you an American flag, which was really special. So I have an American citizenship certificate now. And I am an American citizen, and it was really cool in the past election because I finally got to vote. Because all this time living in America, I could not exercise my right to vote because I was not an American. And this time around, I did get to vote for my president, so it was cool.
That's it.
Yeah.
No.
So, thanks for asking all these questions.
Yeah.
Do you love Israel? Do you love visiting Israel?
I do.
You do? What do you love about Israel?
I don't really see all the issues as much as you do, just because I'm a kid.
Uh-huh.
And I don't I don't pay taxes. I don't go through like the crazy drivers that you guys always talk about. Like I don't go through all the things that you do.
Right. So what's your favorite thing?
So from my perspective, it looks like Israel's so much better.
Really?
Just because, just the stuff there.
What stuff? Like your family?
It's just pretty. The family, the food, just the places. It's fun. It's all fun.
Well, the cool thing is that when you grow up, you can choose where you want to live because you can be an Israeli citizen.
Well, when I grow up, it's going to be harder.
Right, it will be harder. But maybe things will change a little bit in Israel and it will be a little easier. Mm-hmm. But you, because you're my son, have the ability to become an Israeli citizen, no questions asked. So it's kind of cool. Okay. Not everybody can do that. Right?
So I think we have to end it here.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, guys.